Hey, Hector, what makes our client-advisor relationship different from other firms?
Yeah, the big difference is how we review your accounts every single quarter. We go position by position to let you know whether we're holding or selling. Unlike most firms, when they review your account with you every year, everybody's surprised because you haven't looked at the account, and guess what? They haven't either.
Yeah, and that's what makes us different, is we pay attention to every account that we have fairly closely, and we go through every single position, every stock, every ETF, every mutual fund, everything. So we're informed, and we make sure that you're informed.
Right.
My name's Josh Nahosa, and I am an independent advisor representative for SWAN DFW, which stands for Sleep Well at Night, Dallas-Fort Worth. And I am across from a certified financial planner, the certified financial planner that started SWAN DFW, and his name is Hector and Josh.
Hi, my name is Hector, and howdy, because my associate here forgot to say hello.
Yes, that is my bad. So today, we're talking about how the client-advisor relationship works for us and our firm, and how that's maybe a little bit different than some other firms.
It's way different.
Why don't you start with like 10,000 foot view, how it's different?
Yeah, what you need to know going in is I worked for big firms. I worked for MetLife and from Bank of America. So I've got a really good understand how those firms work. You become a client, everybody's excited, you choose your portfolio, and then it gets filed away. And when you come in a year later, there are three people that are going to be very surprised at what's happened to your portfolio, good or bad. You, your spouse, and your advisor, because he hasn't looked at it, because he hasn't had to look at it. Mm-hmm. And when I started my firm, I wanted to make sure that we were very hands-on and that we took every account and treated that account as I would like my account to be treated. Mm-hmm. So we look at it every quarter. We look at every position of every account, and we'll tell you whether we're still liking it, that position for the long term, if we're holding it, or if we're ready to move out of it and move into a new position. So you're getting eyes on your account at least quarterly, and certainly if things are rocky, we look at it even more than once a quarter.
Yeah. So once a quarter is about how often you can expect, I would say, regularly,
at a minimum,
programmed stuff. Yep. Likely you'll hear from us a bit more if we see opportunities or things to look out for.
Right.
How does that communication happen?
Well, a long time ago when I started this firm and didn't have a lot of clients, I started sending videos every quarter. And videos are better than trying to get calendars of three people to mesh up. And so I would just send a short video, 3 to 5 minutes, and it would have every position and what I thought, how things were going, and what we forecasted for the next quarter, the next year, and 5 years. And it didn't take me very long because I didn't have very many clients. But as we started surveying our clients, what we found is that's the really one thing they really liked, because we try to talk not in the financial world vernacular and use, big words. We're just trying to tell people exactly what's happening in their portfolio. I started getting feedback that that's the one thing they really, really liked. Mm-hmm. So that, as you know, has become, I don't want to say a bit of a challenge, just more. It takes more time when you've grown. We've been blessed to have grown our firm to the size we are now, but we still want to do that. We still, whether you have, $5 million with us or $100,000 with us, we want to take care and make sure that we report on your account and let you know what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's important to us that you feel comfortable with where your money is and where it's invested, and that you understand where it is and why we have it invested in that way.
Yeah, and that somebody's looking at it, because things change. We're not a brokerage firm. We don't trade in and out of, a stock every day. We may only have 2 or 3 trades in a year in somebody's portfolio, but usually those are pretty significant trades. You pay us to look at and take care of your money. So I think the least we can do is look at and take care of your money.
Yeah.
It sounds like a fairly reasonable proposition to me, and I don't know why other firms don't do that, but I don't own other firms.
So along with that, with that communication, we also track how you're doing with your financial goals, usually in the context of retirement. Why don't you explain more in depth what we look at there?
Yeah, well, when we onboard a client, 95% of the time, there's some people that are just getting started that are putting, $50 or $100 a month, and we're getting them started. And so we may or may not do a plan. But for everybody else, especially as they get into their 50s, we have a financial plan. And we want to, everybody's got a plan even before they come to us. It's usually in their head. They've really thought about it. They said, I'm going to get this much from Social Security, and she's going to get that much from and so we want to put it down on, we want to enter it. We want to see what the goal, what the wishes are, what the wants are. We want to put them all in there and see what our inventory is, what we have, and see if it works. And once we find a plan and we tweak it to where the plan works, and we got a 85 to 90% probability of success or better, then we have a plan. Now we know. And then we track that every year to make sure that everything that's happening is we're still on board. And we especially pay attention when the market corrects, and the market's correct. And so when we're down 10 or 15 or 20%, people start thinking in terms of, oh no, I had $1 million, and it's now down to 900,000, and I'm never going to be able to retire because it's going to go to zero and stuff. And those are the times we'll take that quarterly video or that first of the year video recap of the year before will be a little longer as we get into the depths of the plan to just reassure people it's okay. We're going to be all right. You don't need to make any changes. Or maybe it hasn't happened, but we could say, hey, we need to sit and talk about either putting more money in or spending less money in retirement, or, but we tweak it once a year. We go to the plan once a year or as needed to make sure that we're on track. Because at the end of the day, that's the other part of the plan is, you want somebody looking at your account, and you want somebody paying attention to it and making adjustments to it. But you want to make sure the plan works. Mm-hmm. And that's the core of our business.
Yes. And so I think the next logical question would be, what are you entering the plan into? Is this like an Excel sheet? Is this a software? Is this just in your mind? Yes, this is how I type America. What are we?
It takes so long.
Yeah, this is why it takes me 30 minutes to type out an email.
Yeah.
Is that just like a spreadsheet? Is that in your mind and you are like using the force?
That's it.
Is this on a computer program? What are we looking at?
We use a software program that's state of the art. Something like, forget what the number is, last time I checked, it was like 55 or 60% of financial professionals and financial firms use the same software. We used it at MetLife and at Bank of America. And it's highly customizable because every financial plan is very different. You could have the same age group, same amount of money, same pension, same Social Security, and the plan would be totally different because their objectives are different and how they feel about things is different. So, it's a highly customizable plan, and we can create the plan to meet the needs of the client. That's an art, that's an art by itself. And then how we communicate that to the client is the second part of that, because we may have a great plan, but if we can't communicate it to you and let you know that you're okay in a way that you can understand it,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And so we want to make sure that you can call us, email us, and certainly react to our videos. We invite questions from our videos. We want to keep you informed, and we want you to know that somebody's watching over your money. I have a client who's been a friend for a long time, been a client since even before I started the firm. I was looking. He used to worry all the time. He was 5 years from retirement, and he would call me every time the market went down, and we made a deal. I said, his name is Mark. I said, Mark, here's what we're going to do. You're not going to worry. You're going to pay me to worry, and you don't worry about anything. If there comes a time that you need to worry, I will call you and tell you, okay, now we worry. Mm-hmm. And that made his life easier. So that's kind of what we want to do is put people at ease. You got a good plan. Somebody's looking after the plan. And if it needs to tweak, we will let you know.
Yeah. So Is there anything else that the people need to know?
Well, mostly that while our firm has grown, we're still a pretty small firm. We get white glove treatment to everybody. At Bank of America, for somebody to talk to me, they need to have $5 million or more in investable assets. You don't need that to talk to me here. But I know the service that those people get that have $5 million or more at Bank of America. We do that here. We customized our firm to what firms of that size call private banking or private clients. And so you get that kind of service. And maybe you're not at 5 million yet, maybe you're something less than 5, but you get top-notch service, great communications, and you're not going to get a lot of voicemail. You're going to talk directly to the owner or the owner's son.
Yeah, because we're the firm.
We're the firm.
So if you would like to call us and test that,
yeah,
here's our phone number. It's 888-792-6339. That is 888-SWAN-DFW. Or we have an email address, and that is info@swandfw.net. So, what an episode.
What an episode. I think that's every single thing that we know. And shoot, we made some things up there at the end just to fill out the time.
Yeah, we definitely did not make things up. But thank you guys for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you send this to somebody.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
God bless.
The preceding content is informational only and based on information available when created. It is not an offer or solicitation, nor is it tax or legal advice. It does not consider your financial circumstances and objectives and may not be suitable for you.